Good evening, Los Angeles, family, friends, and everybody in between. Welcome to the LA School of Comedy. Not the LA School of Ballet, not the LA School. I feel like if you put LA School of, we're the first one that comes up, I hope. At least on my phone. We're the LA School. Right. Maybe. LA School of Archery. Let's get them here. Let's get them here. That's the last thing we need is people throwing bows and arrows in here. Again. Do another intro. That is crazy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the LA School of Comedy. For those of you watching that got 2 intros, lucky duck. Lucky you. Yeah. Intro dose. Well, I want to introduce you to the head of our Film Actors Cafe. Put your hands together for the one and only Aaron McIntyre being here tonight. Yeah. He will come up and tell you more about him. He's an amazing performer, actor, leader, teacher. Speaking of teacher, one of our newest students and members of the LASC community. Put your hands together for the one and only Stuart, our producer here tonight. Yes, when you see him, you're going to go, wow, I'm old. Wow, I am old. You're not that young. That is so funny. Because you know what's crazy? So every day at work, I get so worried that someone's going to pee on me or stick their fingers in my food or steal my stuff. And you're probably like, that's a really scary work environment. And I don't work with old people. I work with children. So, but this kid like was grabbing this other kid so hard. And he was like pulling his arm, twisting his arm. And I was like, hey. That's my favorite thing. When I first started working with kids, I was like, wow, this is going to be so hard for me to say no. Like, I swear, like, that was the thing in my interview. I was like, I'm just so worried how I'm going to say no. Like, they're angels and I love them. And now I'm like, hey, come here. You come here right now. You don't hate your brother. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not your mom. But it's always their brother. That's the thing. It's like they're fighting. They're like, well, my mom said that I can hit him in the face if he hits me in the face. Like, and then I have to go, I'm not your mom. The kids are trying to talk about people's moms again. Your mom's coming back. But because of the era we're in now, it's not like, your mom's fat. It's like, you don't have a mom, and my mom's so much better than your mom. But even if she was the worst mom in the world, she's better because you don't even have one. And I really have to be like, what do you do? What would you do, John Quinones? I don't know. But I told them, I said... And I just played the movie White Chicks for them, and everything made sense. Oh, you want to talk about mothers? They want to talk about mothers. Oh, but basically the point is the kid's grabbing this other kid, and like, the one kid's this big, one kid's this big. And I go, how old are you to the kid who's like this big? And he's like, 7. And I'm like, shoot, I thought he was older because he was big, right? And I'm like, okay, fingers crossed. And I go, how old are you to this kid? He goes, 6. And I was like, okay, your age is not the point. Your age is not the point. You're 3 times his size. So yeah, work's really, really fun. I just applied to work at another retail job because I felt like it was better than shaving my head. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to do something impulsive. And I was like, why not make money? So maybe you'll see me working at the mall again. I know everybody's really missed that. I used to work for a really important American institution that, you know, it's sometimes, John, it feels even inappropriate to talk about it on stage. I worked at Bath & Body Works. No, hold your applause. I worked at Bath & Body Works. Oh, guys, stop it, please, stop it, please. I loved it there. I loved when my new manager came in and said, how long have you been working here? And I said, a year. And he went, really? What does that mean? What does that mean, sir? Tell me how to better sell body cream, please. I would love to know. Because I was really doing all the things. You know, not only is the customer always right, but the customer's husband is always wrong. He shouldn't have said that to you. No, it was wrong. It's buy 3, get 3 free, by the way, but that was wrong. I remember one time I was helping this customer, and he was with this girl, mind you, out of his league. Not the point, but come on. He's with this 10, right? And she's like, babe, what do you think about this one? Babe. And like, he could not care less. Like, he's asking me which ones I like, right? And so once she's like further away, I go, listen, who is this girl? I said, who is she to you? Because I know she's not your girlfriend. And he's like, she's my side chick. You're candle shopping with your side chick? That is crazy. Your wife comes home and is like, smells like waffles and pumpkins. It's your favorite, sweetie. No, it's the girl from next door. It's like, please. And then I felt like the worst person ever because I didn't tell the girl because I was so committed to the sale. I broke girl code to sell a 3-wick candle. I don't know. I sold my soul to capitalism. Or maybe it's because I was born Jewish. I don't know. But a deal's a deal. Am I right? That's a real bug.
Yeah, man. Get that bug.
Everybody okay? Any vegans? Are we okay? I killed a bug. Is that okay? Vegans can eat bugs. Well, we're all eating bugs because it's all in the candy. Like red dye number 4, cockroach, right? I don't know. The thing is about me, how long have I been talking? The thing is about me is I have eaten bugs on purpose. You know, like that's the kind of kid that I was, where somebody was like, I dare you, and I'd be like, me, dare me, dare me, dare me. I would already be doing something, and I'd be like, would it be so crazy if I went in the ocean with all my clothes on, guys? Wouldn't that be so crazy? Everybody's like making out with their boyfriends, like living their high school life, and I'm like, guys, wouldn't it be so cool? And I just would jump in the water with all my clothes on. So I'll end with that story. It was the junior year bonfire, and I was finally making friends that weren't just in theater. And because there's nothing like being in theater in high school, you know, like they do your makeup for the play, and then you're walking around all day like, wow, like I'm in the play, I'm homeless person number 4, but my lashes are on and this and that, and all of a sudden I feel a sticky note on my back that said drag queen, and I was so upset. One, because it was offensive to drag queens. If you looked at my makeup, you would be like, what? No, a drag queen that's blind and tied up? But second of all, I told the girl, I was like, why would you say that? She's like, I thought you would think it was a compliment because drag queens are just so beautiful, and I didn't know you were a homophobe. And it's like, girl. She was just too blonde. She was too blonde to be that blind. Let's do more rhymes. So I'll wrap with this. Yeah, it's 11th grade bonfire. I run in the ocean with all my clothes on. Everyone's like, oh my God, Sam, she's so funny, she's so funny. The clothes were holding me down, made it a little harder to swim. I personally do not believe I was drowning. I think I could have made it out just fine. I think I was fine. Clearly something about the way that I was swimming alerted the lifeguard. The lifeguard comes to get me. From 50 feet away, he's a 10. I'm like, this is my Baywatch moment. Let me fix my hair, like whatever. Mind you, 15 years old, okay? 15 years old. I'm wearing my full clothing, like, and I wasn't like, it was like a big shirt, big pants, like I'm drowning. And he gets closer. He's 50 years old. I'm like, oh my God. He was not 16. I thought he was like 16. He gets like 60 years old. Great shape for his age, but whatever. And then he gives me the thing to like hold on to. I don't know what that's called, whatever. And he starts swimming away, and he swam so fast it fell out of my hands, and I heard him go, oh, and he had to turn around and get me. He's like, don't go back in the water. And I was like, guys, should I go back in the water? And I'm so happy that we get to dip our toes into the water of comedy, acting, writing, everything. You can do everything here at LA School of Comedy, whether you want to get your podcast started or you want to learn about how to get a podcast started. Jen's not here right now, but she's here almost every day. Like, she is a social media queen. Sunda's not here tonight, but she's working with her clients all the time. So just stop by. If you're watching, if you're nervous, it's really not that bad. Just dip your toe in, take it from the page to the stage. And I'm so excited to welcome the man who's made such a difference in this place and in my heart. Please put your hands together for the very funny, very talented, one and only Aaron McIntyre!
Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you. Hello. It's a big night tonight. Big night. Big night. I do have to say that I'm sitting over there. Stuart is like freaking out, man. He's like freaking out at all the comedy. He's holding it in because the laughter. Oh my gosh, he's what? Yeah, I know. He heckles just enough. You know, it's just enough. It's like one word every once in a while in response to something that you say. You know something that you said, Sam, when you were saying, what was the kid saying to the other kid? And you said, what do you say to that? What do you say to him? It was something about about moms. You don't even have a mom, yeah. So yeah, just say, think if you didn't have a mom. Is that what you do? There you go. So you already know what to do. So why are you asking us? Yeah, that's, I used to have this, kids used to come over to our house for like my kid's birthday, and there'd be like some little brat, sitting there with a stick going, like swinging it around other kids, and all of the other parents, I don't know what happened. It was just like, I was just beat so much when I was a child. I just don't want to give my child any discipline. So this kid's swinging a stick around, and the mom's going, honey, sweetie, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop that, over and over again. The kid's like, screw you. Please give me a boundary. Please stop me from doing this. Don't just stand there and talk to me like I'm a moron. That's one of the things that I hate about, the way people talk to kids. I mean, we never talk that way to our kid. We go, hey, what do you want? Just talk to him like a human being. All these people are like, sweetie. They're talking to him like they're dogs. Don't you agree, Sam? Yes. You'd agree with anything at this point. How you doing? How you doing, John? Yeah. John, very good to see you again. You having a good night? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's getting better. Yeah, because, we make you smile if nothing else. I wanted to, I was figuring that I would tell my story. I don't know if anybody here. Hey, Stuart, I'm going to ask you. Is there something like for Christmas or your birthday or like something that you wanted and you were like, God, I really want that thing, and your parents would be like, no, we can't, blah blah blah, if you do this, blah, and you finally get it and it's not really what you want, right?
Well, I never got it, but it was like a dog, and then
You wanted the dog. Okay, perfect example, right? So you didn't want a horse, right? You didn't want a pony, right? Did you ever want a pony? You ever want a pony? I never wanted a goddamn pony either, and I got one anyway. My brother was this, he was this, we grew up in the Air Force. We were all over the world, and so he'd seen everything. And then he comes to Colorado to go to college, and, 6 months later we come back from Germany, and suddenly he's a cowboy. And he's riding in the rodeo, and he's got a cowboy hat and the jeans and the shirt and everything, and he's got himself a horse. And he was like, we got to get him a horse. He needs a horse. I'm like, I don't want a horse. This is cool. So they decided that I was stupid and that I didn't know that I actually did want a horse. And so they went out and they bought a $10 Shetland pony. Okay, $10. And you can guess what you get for $10 in a horse, right? It was a herd of Shetland ponies. And we went out with this trailer and 5 adults and me to pick up this horse, and we had to, it was basically $10, take whichever one you want. It's like, okay. So they had to rope the damn thing, and they finally get it. It took us 2.5 hours to get this little Shetland pony into a trailer. And 5 adults, and it started raining, and then thundering and lightning, and we're out there in this thing, oh, come on, get him in there. Worst goddamn horse in the world, Shetland ponies. If you don't know, if you're thinking about getting your kid a Shetland pony, don't do it. Because they're mean. They will bite you all the time and buck you off. And, of course, this was a wild horse, so we had to train it. We had to break it, My brother's like, well, we'll break that horse, yeah. So, you get the thing in the backyard. And at first, we didn't even have a corral for it. We didn't have anywhere to put it, but we lived out in the middle of kind of nowhere. And there was a big empty field, so they tied it to a tire. They put a thing on it, and they tied it to a tire so it couldn't get away. Oh man! But anyway, they put the bags on. First, you got to put the bags on the back to get the horse used to it, And of course, the horse would be like, "Get that thing on me!" and they would get it off, and then finally the horse was like, oh, fuck, okay, whatever, I'll keep the bags. And then they go, okay, now he's graduated to a human. Well, who's the only human that's big enough that's not too big for this little horse? Me. So they took me down to the creek bed. Yeah, we had a creek bed. And they put me on the horse, and the horse bucked me right off. And then they picked me up and said, can't let the horse know you're scared of it. And they put me back on. The damn horse bucked me off like 5 times. So anyway, I really hated that horse the whole time I had him until one day I did. I loved him. And I was on my way to school. It had been snowing like crazy. And I was on my way to school on the bus. And I look out the window and my horse is dead in the ditch. That was the day I loved him. I cried for hours that my poor Puzzles was gone. Poor Puzzles. Yeah, I was that kind of kid. It's like anybody else do this? Like at Christmas, you get a present and it's like, oh, thanks. And you play with it for like 2 months and then it just sits in the corner and nobody does anything. And then next Christmas, some other kids come over to the house and they start playing with that thing and you're like, no, I have to play with it. It's like, you haven't played with it for 9 months. Now you got to have it. Kids are just, oh, man. I don't know if anybody here's done. Have you done 23andMe or an Ancestry.com where they take like your swab from your cheek and they do DNA and they figure out like if you have diseases that are in your family and what you are you German and French, and I did definitely them all. I'm basically everything. They were like, you're even possibly 1% Ethiopian. I'm like, well, I'm Ethiopian. But anyway, they find out if you have like diseases, and they also, if anybody does 23andMe, they match you up and they go, yeah, here's your family tree. And so the diseases is the thing I got it for. I did find out that I have something. I have a 43-year-old daughter that I didn't know that I had until 3 years ago. Oh, man, that was a surprise. My younger daughter actually called me and said, is it possible I've got a sister? And I was like, well, it was the 70s, and so anything is possible. Yeah. Yes, that is true. I was born in the mid-'60s. Doing a lot of that character tonight, the old guy. Because I feel old tonight, the old prospector out there in the open range. We got conversations going. We got co-directing and everything. It's just fantastic. John, thank you for being here for me. Anyway, yeah. So I'm a mess. I'm a total mess. I'm like anybody. Mental. You have any mental issues, anything like that? Everybody should raise their hand at that because everybody's got some mental issues. I mean, come on, yeah, exactly. There you go. Everybody, especially people who are in comedy shows, that and drag shows. But anyway, that and drag shows and whatever, high schools, they're all insane. But yeah, I'm certified. I have my certification. So if you're not certified yet, you should all go out and get certified because you probably got something. They can probably find something, and then then you get on the drugs, and they're prescribed. So I'm actually way better now. I'm bipolar, so that means you're like 6 months. You're like, oh my God, we're all one, and I love you until you piss me off, and then I hate you and I can't stand you. And God, I gotta have like 25 hair ties, even though I don't have hair. And then the next 6 months, you're just depressed and you don't want to be here anymore. But that was good because now I'm not afraid of dying. As a matter of fact, my last word, I've already planned it out. It's going to be finally. oh man, where was I going with that? Something. But so now what I've learned is I'm just bipolar all day. So it's like I go up and down, and it's time for me to go. But I do want to leave you with a little parting song. I don't know why. I just decided to sing you a song. I love you for sentimental reasons. That's all I got. Okay. If you want more, you can pay for more. Okay. I do. Huh? What's that? One more line you have to pay for. One more line. That's right. That's right. Because there's royalties. I'm going to get slapped with copyright infringement. Well, I do have classes here, acting classes, 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. We work on comedy scripts. You don't have to work with scene partners outside of the class. We do it all here. We film everything that we do so you can actually review your work. And we shoot it like a film so you actually learn more about not only the acting process, but what you're going to do when you get on the set, how the whole thing is made, who you're going to talk to, what each person does, all that kind of stuff. So, with that said, I'm going to pass it back to our fabulous comedy concierge. Let's give it up for Samantha Linderman.
Keep it going for Aaron, everybody. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. I forget, I was going to say something okay, about mental illness. First of all, oh my God, I tried to write this joke once for Mental Health Awareness Month. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't remember the wording, but it was so good I can't even do it right now. You ever heard a comic do that? They're like, I have this joke. Nah, I'm going to save it for a show. I have this joke. No, there's too many girls here. I'm like, say it. Like, say it. You've never been in an Uber and made your Uber driver laugh? Audience of one? Killed. Are you not proud of your work? Like, I make my Uber drivers die. Like, no, not really. I'm like, okay, you're laughing so hard. Or your hands on the. I had an Uber driver whose body didn't work from the waist down. That was a hard. I'm saying how you push the pedals. Yeah. That was hard for me because I don't even drive at all. So when he's like, yeah, like I don't, my legs don't work, and I didn't want to be rude and be like, scream. I didn't want to be like, oh my God, like since when? Right now? Oh my God. I was like 17. So, and it was last week. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the first time I went to a psychiatrist, I was in high school, and after one session, he was able to diagnose me, which I thought was like crazy. My current psychiatrist was like, that's crazy. No, he doesn't talk like that. And he's like, okay, so you have depression, anxiety, whatever. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you have ADHD girl type. ADHD girl type. I was like, what? It's pink? ADHD girl type, like only activated when boys are around. ADHD girl type can be cured by a Shawn Mendes concert. Like, what is ADHD girl type? What does that mean? What does that mean? Are the pills bubblegum flavor? So that really triggered me. He said ADHD girl type, an autoimmune disorder I don't have, but he was studying it, which is crazy. I look it up and his name is the first thing that comes up, and I'm like, this is weird. Then he says, possible Tourette's. I wasn't a comic at the time, right? But I've always said some out of pocket. But when he said possible Tourette's, 2 tears start coming, like an angry 2 tears. And I said, oh, I have Tourette's! Oh, I have Tourette's! Then the secretary has Tourette's. No, this is what I said. I said, oh, I have Tourette's and my dad has Tourette's, right? And he goes, let's only talk about people in this room. I said, fine, then you have Tourette's. My mom has Tourette's. Why is my mom in here? Listen, I don't have Tourette's. I wish I had an excuse, though. No, Tourette's is a really hard disease. I don't wish I had it. But I do wish my dad would stop saying that that's what he had when we're in arguments. He'd go, what can I do? I'm Italian and I have Tourette's. You are a European Jew from LA, undiagnosed with we don't know, but I don't think it's Tourette's. But listen, guys, I'm so excited for this next comic. He cracks me up. He's one of our newest members to the LA School of Comedy family. Put your hands together for Rastaman John. Keep it going. Woo.
Well, tonight you're being introduced to a brand new religion. A religion unlike any other religion that came before. Because we don't fight evil. We fight stupid. Evil doesn't, evil ain't that bad. It's stupid that does all the damage. Well, I was sitting around one night, just dissatisfied with every religion I've ever seen, and decided and got tired of telling people, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And then, that gets you real far. So I decided, well, I'm going to come up with my own religion. Maybe I can make some money out of it, Maybe I could score a hot church secretary and have a scandal that, make myself famous that way. But we'll wait for it. All right. Well, anyway, when you come up with a religion, the first thing you got to do is you got to believe in God. Well, as a smart ass, we came up, a smart ass does things as either very simply or very complex. Well, for religion, you want it simple. That way people can't argue with you. So, all God ever was and all God will ever be is just the knowledge we don't know. Boom. We believe in God, we're a religion. Now, we believe in love. Love's another one sentence, smart-ass answer. Love is when the whole is greater than the sum of the two halves. When you have an interaction with people, right, it can be positive or negative, or no effect at all. When both sides receive positivity, that's love. So like when you go out in your community and you instead of buying from McDonald's, you go out and buy from the corner restaurant, because when you go to McDonald's, you're just giving money to some heartless corporation and some rich guy who bought a franchise. When you go to somebody's restaurant, you're building a community. All right? Now, I had to name my religion. And of all the religions, I like Rastafarian the best. Simply because they don't have it, they only have two things they do. They have a reasoning and they have a celebration. That's their only two ceremonies. I can get behind that. And they also believe in one love. Now, one love, once you believe what love is, and describing one love becomes easy. See, like when you have positive, instead of just two people, you have positivity all around you. Whether you think about the environment, you think about your community, you think about whatever. You're trying to create, raise the world by lifting everybody around you instead of keeping yourself up by pushing everyone down. Another thing that calling it Rastafarian science does is it gives you can tell right away what kind of person they are when they react to it. People who are closed-minded are completely turned off. People who are mildly annoyed will listen for 5 minutes. Other people just say, hey man, you got any grass? Well, usually, but All right, so now that we have a religion, how do we practice it? Well, we don't do churches, we don't do synagogues, we don't do mosques, shrines, or temples. What we do is we have taverns. That's right. We're religion where instead you can go down and either drink you can drink and celebrate or with reason. To keep from sounding like every other religious zealot, we don't complain. We don't complain about people. We don't go off on the evils of society or what person whether lesbians lesbian groundskeepers should be not permitted to mow a male football field. Don't do that. No, we just do solutions. So when you come to drink at our tavern, you put your hate outside. If you're going to complain about something, you have to have a solution for it. It's like, so, yeah, it keeps the conversations a little bit more, less heated. But then you get into the second thing of what being a smartass is all about. And that's pointing out people's foibles. All right? And the second thing is, how do you define stupid? Stupid is easy to define. If it doesn't help you and you're doing it, you're stupid. It's real simple. Ask yourself before you do anything, how is this going to make my life better? If you can't answer it, You're probably stupid, doing something stupid. So that's it. Brand new religion right here. That's simple. You can be a smartass, and all you have to, that's the whole thing is being smartass. So you can say you're deeply religious. I'm deeply sarcastic, and my religion condones sarcasm.
Wow. Awesome.
All right, and then I want it like as a tribute to my grandfather. I've got my grandfather joke. Now he was a guy that really liked him. I mean, he was a professor of Greek, Hebrew, and Latin at an all-male college in Canada. And then he was lucky enough to be born after World War I, and too old to go to World War II. So, but when he was a young lad, one of his favorite stories he would tell me was that he was a gandy dancer for the Canadian railroads. What a gandy dancer does was in the spring when they got to these little spurs for the logging camps, they'd have to every winter everything would freeze and the tracks would move a little bit. So what they'd have to do is that they'd have to take out the spike and then he'd get on a big long pole that you have to dance around to move it back into line. All right, well, but so what they would do is like they'd be out on the road for, on they'd have their little car, the railroad car, they park, and then they'd go out and do their thing. And then, well, you got like a crew of 6 guys, right? And then so like they sat down to eat one night. My grandfather, not knowing the unspoken rule of railroad car 21. Okay, that whoever complains has to be the cook. And he made the mistake one night of saying, this really tastes like shit. And everybody at the table looked at him like he just pissed on the Queen's plate. There was dead silence. And then he was informed of the rule that, all right, you got to cook now. I said, oh, and so for a while it wasn't too bad because he, he'd get time off to go, prepare the meals and whatnot. So for a while it was cool. But then he got upset because he'd go through all this work trying to make a nice meal and no one ever appreciated it. No one ever said thank you. No one ever said, this tastes good. So after about 2 weeks of this, he got really upset. And then decided, you know what? I'm going to get even with these guys. So he was out, the field picking berries for the berry pie for the evening. And then he comes across this beautiful, perfectly shaped moose turd in the field. And then an idea struck him. They said, all right, I'm gonna make moose turd pie and see if anybody notices. So he takes this pie, takes this perfect moose turd and makes a nice little crust, does the little, the lattice work on top, and boom, he bakes it up. Okay. And then all of a sudden mealtime comes around. And then, then there's this gentleman they call Little Tim. And being Canadian, he wasn't called Little Tim because he was little and Tim. They named him Little Tim because of the locomotive that used to haul the railroad cart all around. Because, Little Tim was 6'4" and 37 inches wide. He had to duck and turn sideways to walk into the caboose. And it was exactly at that moment my grandfather realized there was a flaw in his plan. Because when Big Tim sat down and saw that moose turd pie, it looked good. He was had the nice crust, the lattice work and all that. And he grabbed it and he said, cut out a big pie and took a bite out of it. And my grandfather, he said, well, I was trying to jump out the window because I knew what was going to happen. So as soon as he bit into it, his eyes lit up and said, this is moose turd pie. And my grandfather tried to dive out the window and he grabbed him and cocked his arm back. And it was exactly 1 second before his death that Little Tim realized what would happen, that if he did what he was going to do. And Little Tim had to say the only thing that would keep him from a fate worse than death. It's good moose turd pie. And I want to thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yay! Okay, so you said Canada, all this stuff, right? I'm hearing moose turd. I'm like, maybe that's not how they say mustard in Canada. My brain was not understanding. And then you said moose turd, and it really hit me. That was very funny. We love a what was I gonna? I don't know. I want to go to Canada so bad. I mean, I don't, but I just think like at a certain point I'm gonna have to do it. Are you from there?
Half my family.
Half your family's from there, and then you're from here too.
Born in Long Beach.
Long Beach. I had a cousin, right, who, whatever, we were friends because she lived close by. Like, this is not, like, my favorite, like, now this is actually my least favorite. I can't get into it. But she went to school in Long Beach, and she'd always want me to come see her, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could. It's so far. And I looked it up. It's not that far. It is not far enough to miss somebody's graduation. But hey, I'm looking forward to this guy's graduation, on to the next step of his journey. Here, there, everywhere. Are you guys ready to hear something from Stuart? Yeah. I can't hear you. Let's go. Get on up here, dude. Tell us what's up.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. And working at the camera, I've learned a few things. Some good, some bad, some ugly. I learned that from a movie, even. So, I want to start this off with what I've learned. One, you cannot say you're welcome. You cannot have regular etiquette. This is cameraman etiquette. So that means if someone asks you something or you need something, that's when you talk. But if you want to say you're welcome or thank you, they will get mad at you. Second, some people just go like, okay, everyone, for the whole time. Like, they just stare at one camera. So you basically don't even need to do any work. And then second, when, like, some people move around like this a lot, it gets annoying. Like, because, like, you have to keep switching the cameras. And, like, probably, like, the people watching are going to be like, oh, my God, just stop moving. We cannot get a good angle. Like, they will scream at their computer knowing they can't get anywhere because they can't get here. Also, second. Wait, no. I think it's third. Yeah, third. Thank you. Whoa. That's regular etiquette, not cameraman etiquette. And then some guy on Monday, when he was like, flip. And then some guy on Monday, when he was talking about, like, when I said, you're welcome, he was like, okay, oh my God, stop it. And this was Monday, so I was like, come on, what's so mean about it? This is regular etiquette. And he was like, cameraman etiquette. Like, he looked straight at me, and he was like, oh, cameraman etiquette. So I just, like, had my mouth quiet for the whole time. Because I thought, oh boy, this guy's a real grumpy pants. Because, like, when I talk to other people, they're like, oh, don't worry, it's fine. Or, thank you. But no, it looks like you can't use anything regular. And for the next topic, so, John, wait, that's your name, right?
More or less.
Okay. So when you're talking about stupid, let's make a list. 1, the guy who was being mean to me on Monday. And then 2 is right where I am. See, I'm not really good in 5th grade with social interactions. That was where I failed most. I could not do anything. Like, if I liked a girl, mostly, I would just, like, stay as far as I could. Or I would, like, slap her or something. I don't know why. I thought it was nice because, like, girls would do that to guys they like. So, yeah, that's where we put me at stupid. Because, like, it realized at that time, you cannot do what a girl does to a boy because then she'll, like, get mad at you. I don't know why. That's kind of unfair. But, hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. And now for the last topic of the day. A little secret here. I am bisexual. That does mean I like both men and women. And then something about it is a lot of people say, which one do you like more? I didn't know that means I had to like one more. I was like, I don't know, both? And they're like, nah, you gotta choose one, or you're not bisexual. So I was like, what does that have to do with anything? But they just kept looking at me like, so, which one is it? And then there's something called tea time, where, like, I know what that is, but, like, then, like, some other kids come up and say, if you don't tell us, we're gonna be mean to you. Like, I don't know why. It's just, like, I can't choose. And now I think that's it. I'm going to wrap this up with a good joke. A pizza joke. Wait, no, never mind. Too cheesy. And that's it. Oh, at Stulus on TikTok. STULOSE. Bye.
One more time for Stuart. I'm so happy to. I mean, I'm not happy about that experience, dude. It's just when you are a kid, like especially now, like the kids are. Actually, I don't know if it. What do you think, Stuart? You think the kids are getting less woke? So the answer is yes. So the answer is yes. Woke's dead. Woke is dead, folks. Yeah, we used to. It used to be like you can make fun of somebody, but you can't talk about them being bisexual. Like we really had to be creative with our insults because we were like the beginning of woke. Like you can't talk about somebody's makeup, like that's her expression, like this or that. She smells, well, she can't afford deodorant, whatever. Now it's just everything. It's like you're bisexual. Like, whoa, where's your homework? Did you do your homework? Why are you asking me about my life? But if you guys want to know more about us or our lives, please come by every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're here. We're also here Tuesdays and Saturdays. We're also here Thursdays and Sundays sometimes. The tavern's open on Sunday. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Guys, it's been a great night. Go to our website. Come here, 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard. This quite literally is, there's no place like this place. So stop by if you're thinking about it. Just do it. Get the Waymo and go. Good night, everybody. I'm not pro Waymo. I know that it killed a cat, okay? I'm not pro Waymo. I'm pro bodega cat. We have to end on